Hey guys, it's Brian. Before you go ahead and do anything else, make sure you leave a like and subscribe and turn on those notifications if you want to see more content like this in the future. Anyways, on to the video. Hey guys, it's Brian. Welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh video. And so today, we have a double upload today. So around 8 or 9 o'clock Eastern time tonight, you're going to go ahead and see a second video. So keep an eye out on that. So we're going to go ahead and showcase for the first video this duel that I had against Dragon Link. So I was going ahead and playing, of course, my Shaddoll Invoked Dogmatika deck. This is post Ghost in the Past, obviously, and it's slightly different from the build I showcased before. Let's go ahead and get right into it. This is more similar to the deck I had previously, but I did incorporate certain things from the other profile just because I want to go ahead and tweak it to see if I can go ahead and make it as competitive as possible. Because I felt like after running the second Ingenious really didn't work out, so as you can see, my opening hand was Shaddoll Fusion, Hog, Beast, Super Poly, and Dragon, and my opponent opened up Absolrouter, Chaos Space, Dark Road No More, Recharge, and Levianeer. So I'm going to start out with the Shaddoll Fusion. I'm going to go ahead and send the Beast and the Hedgehog, trying to go ahead and at least get some things out of my deck. So I make the window, and I use Beast as Chainlink 1 because I just want to go ahead and get the for sure card out of my deck with Hog first, and that way I can see if I can get anything out of my deck. So I get the Wendy because I have 2 copies in the deck, and I draw into an Aerial. I go ahead and set the Dragon, and I set the Super Poly, and pass turn. So my opponent is going to go ahead and start out with the Dark Ruler No More, and then continues with the Chaos Space. Keep in mind that I have Super Poly, so I'm just waiting on it. So you can go ahead and search the Tracer afterwards with the Absolrouter. Goes ahead and searches the Wyver Burster, and with Wyver Burster he goes ahead and summons Striker Dragon. I decide to go ahead and Super Poly here for the simple reason that I just want to go ahead and force him into special summoning, because if he tries to special summon anything, it's going to go ahead and just stop his plays for the turn. However, I do see where I could have just waited on just waiting for him to activate Boot Sector just to go ahead and do that, but I didn't want to get him to the point where he's already going into so much advantage with him, so I just want to go ahead and force it out as early as I can. So here he decides to just go ahead and go for Collapse Serpent. Uses the Chaos Space to go ahead and put Wyver Burster and draw. Fortunately for him, he drew the Ash. So I go ahead and draw for turn. I draw Nadir Servant, but that is immediately going to get met by the Ash. If he didn't have it, that would have been game. So I just go ahead and attack. Just get rid of both of his monsters, because he does use the Brotar to go ahead and search again, but it's really not going to be helping much in this case. So main phase 2, he decides to go ahead after I pass turn, and for his turn he decides to go ahead and go for the Levianeer instead of going for the Rise Darkness Metal to get rid of one of the windows, which turned out maybe being a mistake on his part, because I do draw into the Alistair. Before I normal summon, I actually was debating on just keeping it in hand and attacking, but I decided to go ahead and just go for it. If he already used the Ash, it's less likely he already has another one. So I normal summon the Alistair. Go ahead and search the Invocation. With the Invocation, I should have made the Raijin here, but I decided to go for Purgo Trio. Try to push in for damage, but I could have gone for the Raijin, set the Levianeer, and just attack over it. And that was a mistake on my end, which caused the game to go longer than when it should have. So he draws into Seyfert. Using Safer's effect, he goes ahead and searches out the chamber. And with that, he goes ahead and summons out the Red Eyes Darkness Medal. Gets rid of the Purgatrio. I draw into Super Poly, which doesn't really help in this situation. However, if he gets rid of one of the windows, I do have a way of getting a card in hand to go ahead and use Super Poly. So here he decides to go ahead and use Red MD to go ahead and bring back the Levianeer. He attacks over the window first with the Red MD. And with Windows effect, I go ahead and get Shaddoll Fusion. I immediately, on Declaration, just pitch the Shaddoll Fusion with Super Poly to go ahead and use both of his monsters to make Starving Venom. And from here, I just go ahead and, even though he does use Chamber, and sets the Tiding, I drew into the Nadir, which really doesn't help him, because even if he bounces one, I have 3 attacks for the turn, so it's pretty much game. So heading into game 2, I'm going second. And I draw into Lancia, Cosmic, Invocation, Aerial, and Schism, while my opponent drew Chamber, Red MD, Brotar, Tracer, and Absorautor. So he starts out with the Chamber, gets a Tidying, makes Striker, search the boot sector, go for Red MD, and with Red MD he's going to go ahead and summon out the Brotar, get the search, get rid of the Absorautor, get the Levianeer, and searches for Rocket Synchron with Absorautor. I decided to go ahead and Lancey just to make sure he can't summon the Levianeer or any of the baby dragons if he has them in hand. He goes for Seals, and then uses the boot sector to go ahead and special summon out both the Rocket Tracer and the Rocket Synchron. Makes LP and Pisty, and Striker. Bring out the Safer to go ahead and use Striker to get rid of the LP to get the Synchron back to hand. Using Safer to then make Pisty. Bring back the Tracer. Link him off into Romulus. Romulus search Ravine. Use the Tracer to get rid of the Romulus. Go ahead and get the Recharger. Make Savage. And to the card pass. I draw the Shaddoll Fusion. So I go ahead and start out and stand my phases. Probably should have waited for main phase, that way I could have maybe forced out in a position where he may have thought I may have a triple tactics. But I go ahead and get rid of the Tidying. I use Shaddoll Fusion here, but it immediately gets negated. Just set the Aerial, the Schism, and the Invocation. He goes ahead and brings back the boot to hand. And with Seals, he goes ahead and gets the Absorautor. He goes ahead and makes and summons Levianeer first, and then just scoop it up. So heading into game 3, I drew pretty broken for a going first hand. I drew Alistair, Nadir, Judgment, Invocation, and Wendy. So I was pretty confident that no matter what he was able to do, unless he has a Skullmeister, I wasn't really afraid of anything except for a Lancia. And so, starting off, I just go ahead and summon out the Alistair. Effect to search out the Invocation. Use the Invocation right away, so that way if he does have Lancia, he's forced to use it there, or or if he's gonna think I'm gonna use it from hand. Make Raijin. Use Wendy's effect to go ahead and get the Hedgehog. Use Invocation to go ahead and bring back the Alistair to hand. Use Nadir here to go ahead and get Apkalon in the graveyard. Gain the Ecclesia. Using Apkalon, I send the Rush to the graveyard. Use the Rush to go ahead and flip up the Hedgehog so I can get the Schism. Use the Ecclesia here to go ahead and search out the Fleur-de-Lis. And here I set 2 pass. But after the end phase, I go ahead and use Raijin to set the Hedgehog. He draws into the Chaos Space. Doesn't really help here. He goes for Quick Launch. I immediately go ahead and just simply chain the Schism. He tries to go ahead and Dark Ruler after that, but it immediately just gets met with the Judgment. And he just scoops it up. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. It is a short one, but I will be uploading later on today, so make sure you keep an eye out on that. And make sure you go ahead and like and sub the video. It really does help the channel a lot. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya!